All right, Leger, number 4 on our consensus with the first pick, edge rush summer scouting list. LT Overton out of Alabama. He's not even 21 years old yet.
Yeah.
No surprise. I think Keldrick Faulk's going to be I think he's going to have a chance to be a first rounder and probably a pretty high first rounder. I think LT is going to be
Yeah.
in that conversation as well, maybe closer to the bottom first round, top of the second. We'll see. We got a long way to go. But again, this is going to be a recurring theme. 6'5", 280 is unofficially what LT Overton is. Plays outside. He can play over the tackle. Sometimes to kick him inside. He can play 2-eye if you want him to. Sawed off, thick upper body, consistently plays with violent hands, gets off blocks quickly. He can ragdoll interior offensive lineman to the ground on his way to the running back, which is fun to watch. And I'll ask you this. I've asked Kyle, our buddy Kyle Long, this, who played guard in the league. How do you combat, if you're an offensive lineman, the push-pull? Because I feel like when these guys that are 288 with big, strong hands get their hands on you, you just go along for the ride, even though you're a 310-pound guard or center.
Yeah, right. It's a chess game, right? And you have to understand when you're an offensive lineman, what the defensive lineman is doing. Adversely, the same thing when you're a defensive lineman, what the offensive lineman is trying to take away from you. So when a guy comes with power, right, as a defensive lineman, I'm waiting for you to anchor down. And that's when I can pull you, right? Because you're off balance because all your weight is sitting back because you think I'm just going for the bull rush the entire time. So that's why I say, like, defensive line play, offensive line play, it's a chess game, right? It's you try to take away what they do well, but then also counter that as well. And LT Overton, you talked about it, versatility, and he's probably the biggest guy on this list weight-wise. It is interesting, when I was watching this tape, I was like, why isn't this dude just lining up at 3 technique most of the time, or even a 4-eye head up on the tackle? But then you see him outside, and he drops in zone coverage, and he's athletic enough to do it, right? And it's rare for somebody that size, at like 6'3", 280 pounds, to be able to cover in space, but he does it really well. And then he doesn't have crazy foot speed. It's a theme of like the top 5 guys. There's not a lot of guys that are twitchy, but he can flip his hips and get on the edge at 280. So it'll be interesting to see how teams view him. We had the same conversation with Keldrick Faulk, but I think it's even a bigger conversation with LT Overton just because of his pure size, right? Like, it's rare to have somebody that's 280, 285 to be able to move the way he does. And we've seen a premise or an uptick of guys that are versatile, like the John Franklin Myers of the draft that can play end and also kick inside on third down. I think that's what LT Overton will be his next spot in the NFL. A guy maybe on first and second down, you either line him head up on the tackle or on the edge, but then on third down, let him get inside and use the athletic ability to rush over guards.
Yeah, this ain't Will Anderson Jr. or Dallas Turner in terms of guys coming out of Alabama off the edge. Let me give you my comp. Rick always hated my comps. Rand's a little nicer, but he typically disagrees with them. And then you can give me a better one if you have one. And this was a tough one because of the things we're talking about physically. Darius Smith, how you feel about that?
That's actually not a bad comp. I would say Darius has a little bit more foot speed than him, can burn the edge probably a little bit better than him. The funny thing is, when you watch tape, and Ryan, we talked about this, with Alabama, D linemen, D tackles, it's almost like rinse and repeat. Like, all these guys are good with their hands. They all disengage. They always get good knockback, and they're just solid football players. Like, you know what you're going to get with a defensive lineman from Alabama. He's going to be a solid player for you for 8 to 10 years. And LT Overton is going to fit that mold just like the rest of the defensive tackles. When you talk about Byron Young or any of these other guys, Deron Payne, like, they are just really good football players.